In this video, I'm going to talk about my highest conviction play. If you're new to this channel, my name is Tyrell, and every single day I live stream trading meme coins. We have came across an absolute gem and front run a whole entire meta. And that token is called Uranus token. Now, I want to explain to you guys why I'm so bullish on this thing, why I hold almost $200,000 of this token. And as you can see, when we look at meme coins, especially meme majors, why it has consistently been the highest performing meme coin in like the top 30 majors that you will see. Now, the reason for this is because this meme is probably one of the most funniest memes out there. Now, first things first, let's go ahead and take a look at the community. All you have to do to have success nowadays in crypto and meme coins is just have a look at Twitter. And if you have a look at Twitter and type in Uranus, you will find this meme. Now, this specific meme is probably one of the most viral jokes that you have, and it's one of the most oldest jokes that we have, with it being a planet. If you guys don't know, Uranus is a planet, and it is the only planet that you can see in between your legs, right? It's also one of the only planets that many major people talk about. And recently, it has gone absolutely viral. In fact, even Elon Musk, you guys remember with Annie and that saga when Elon Musk starts to reply to these types of things, even Elon Musk is replying consistently to Uranus jokes. You see, Elon South Park should create an episode where you send Cartman, to Uranus to mine lithium, right? I think this is Cartman, right? So he responded to this. That's not the first time that he's done this. He consistently replies to Uranus jokes because obviously he is a extraterrestrial, right? He likes to go to different planets. You will also know, well, hopefully you know, Uber, right? You might have heard of Uber, right? 12 million followers. They are also tweeting about Uranus. It says Uranus smells like farts. So even intentionally or unintentionally, major accounts are given awareness to this token, and they know or they don't know. Now, you might have seen this with something like Boss. Boss went to 40 million on a similar narrative. It was a viral person. He was getting a lot of attention at Ibiza. He's the viral boss, right? No, the viral Ibiza boss. And whenever he did anything viral, he's getting millions of views, intentionally or unintentionally, he was marketing this meme coin. And those are the best meme coins to have, where it is just naturally viral. In fact, we've seen this recently with Troll, right? You guys may or may not know about Troll, but if you do, you will know that Troll is the most viral 4chan internet meme out there, right? It is the troll, the internet troll, and people on the internet naturally are just trolls, right? You can see Troll did a similar thing. It went through a longer period of accumulation simply because it went so viral on its first day, or first week, sorry. And then we had a whole bunch of Elon. We had the, Annie, Rudy. Then we transitioned into the launchpad wars, and we had a bunch of different launchpads launching. We have Jupiter, Moon, etc. So they lost a lot of mind share. But naturally, because it is just a good meme, which is why I always say, guys, just invest in the memes. It's going to be hard for you to catch the majors if you're not studying Twitter and you're not just studying the memes, right? When it broke out at 20 million, this was on the 26th of July, so literally only 2 weeks ago, it flew 10x from the breakout and went over 200,000, over 10x, as it went up to, over 250 million market cap. Now, it's pretty easy to know that these things are going to perform well when you start seeing them putting in higher lows and higher highs straight after the breakout. That clearly shows you that people are looking to bid dips. If people wasn't looking to bid dips, as soon as you get this first pullback, it would come all the way back down, right? You would expect this to come all the way back down. And you can literally just observe this for a proportion of the day. These are just 4-hour candles. As you start to see it putting in higher highs and higher lows, it's a signal that it's going to do well. I also post inside of my alpha group, that's the trenches down below, and I speak about DCAs and watching DCAs as well. We actually have a DCA tracker. I posted the link for it. It's not mine personally, but I always like to share new tools and things I'm using. And this Jupiter DCA tracker will show you, right? People were starting to DCA 6 figures into Troll. When you put it over here and you type in Troll, you can go back down to the date, which I think was like from here, but there's a bunch of them. And you'll be able to see, this is when people were selling. So it'll be like when Troll was already at 200. Naturally, when people have fucking multi-6, multi-7 figures, but you can see it here. People started to sell Annie for Troll. They started to sell their other tokens for Troll. Okay, and then you started to just see a bunch of action. You start to see useless whales DCAing 50k into troll, so he made $500,000. You can see this person DCA'd 50k into troll as well. A bunch of people were just DCAing into troll, right? And that's $50,000, $100,000, etc. That gives you kind of that signal that people are buying the dip, because whales, they don't just blast a 50k clip. They'll DCA to get the right entry. And because there is so much buy pressure coming into these tokens, on a breakout, you tend to see higher lows. And people like me, they figure this out, right? Now, the meme that I decided to choose, because there are infinite amounts of these memes that you can choose that are at lower valuations, or that you might think get higher. Some people say that troll could go to $1 billion. That's great, but even that is only a 5x from here. If you look at Uranus token, Uranus is only a 60 million market cap. A lot of people say 60 million is a lot. Well, so 60 million was a lot before troll hit 200 million, and maybe before troll runs all the way up to $1 billion, right? It always seems like a lot before you see the final market caps, because we are at that stage of the cycle right now where meme coins are about to get very, very insane. And there's a big discrepancy of people. There are some people who are in the trenches every single day looking at new pairs. But guys, we're not at that stage where we was last November, where you can get a jelly, or you can get a Vine, right? Jelly and Vine, etc. Those tokens, they will come in straight out of bundle, looking at graduated section, and you would see those tokens instantly run to 20, 50, 100, 200 million within the space of a week. We're not seeing that right now. The game has changed. And what we are now seeing is we are seeing larger market caps that are a lot older and matured. They're the tokens which people are starting to bid. And the reason for that is simply because of the multi-wallets and the bundles. There ain't that many large players who want to degen and put 10, 20, 50, $100,000 into a coin anymore initially, simply because these tokens are so heavily bundled that people will literally clip everything. Whereas when you start to see these tokens, you'll notice something very interesting. On the breakouts of these tokens, the top holders were not nuking the chart. And that's what allows the charts to mature. And that's what allows you to get these multi-$100 million winners. Now, if we have a look at Uranus token, this is what we're currently seeing again. We've seen a larger accumulation pattern. In fact, out here, a large accumulation pattern, a breakout with nobody clipping. In fact, people were buying in. Then we see another area of accumulation again. And then what we're looking at right now is yet again another breakout, right? And for me, this is just signaling that this is a multi-$100 million market cap token, in my opinion, and that's why I'm holding it, right? People say, oh, you talk about what you hold, but of course I'm going to talk about what I hold, right? Because I'm bullish on it. I wouldn't hold it if I wasn't bullish on it, right? You can see over here, we have another flag. As you guys know, if we break out the flag, you can draw it from here. Most people draw their flags from here. And these type of tokens, you can do TA. You can't really do TA on a super low market cap token. You could do it from these types of ones. But these types of tokens, this is the type of stuff you can see. I expect the first resistance to be the 2618. Once we get up there, we're going to hold it and then probably have a little pullback. And as that's $1.6, and you can run up the way to 4 to 5, right? And if you can diversify these larger tokens, you can sleep on your bags, right? Uranus was a token which I can't even speak about it without laughing. That's how you know it's a funny token, right? How can you tell someone, well, I bought Uranus? It's crazy, right? But Uranus is a token which you can hold for a long period of time and accumulate these dips because you know that it's probably going to perform well. And it also tends to outperform most of the ecosystem as well. I'm very passionate about Jupiter tokens, and me personally, I wasn't positioned in Uranus heavily before I realized this one thing. And this one thing is that when you have the major runner, similarly to when we had useless, normally you don't see the entire ecosystem of, let's say, Jupiter launch pads perform well until you have seen the first runner really start to rip, which makes me realize it's very important to be positioned in these tokens. For example, right, even though this is the largest market cap, apart from the odd token like maybe Lightspeed, and Uranus token has outperformed most of the market, right? And these, you're talking about tokens that might only be 400k market cap, 300k market cap, 200k market cap. This is why I say that market caps are an illusion. A lot of people, including myself before, I'd look at the smaller market caps and I'd say, well, if this gets to that market cap, it's a lot more return. But the difference is the holders, the mind share, and the meme just isn't as strong as it is in the major runner, right? Whereas, again, if we have a look at a token like, let's say, useless coin, right? When we have a look at useless coin, it's a similar story. When Useless first started to pump, right, and it really started to get motion, you didn't see much motion for the eco as you've seen as once Useless started to top out. Once Useless started to top out, that's when you started to see GP rally. It's when you started to see Corey rally, etc. And the reason for it, in my opinion, if I was to put it logically, is probably because the large holders over here, right, they make significant amounts of funds. And then once the market cap gets quite high, they start to look for other degen tokens to DCA into. And when they do, it starts to flag up in these wallets and also on things like Mobi Screener, where you start to see things like, okay, a Useless whale bought this. And the Useless whale's got like 500,000, 1.2 million, maybe even $2 million in their wallet. So everybody's like, right, this is the next one. Useless whales are buying. And then they all push those coins. They push coins like Corey, etc., to just astronomical valuations, right? So that's the reason why what I'm doing is I'm riding these tokens. And then once we get to areas which are much higher, okay, you're talking 100, 200, 300% with size. Once we get to those valuations and Uranus becomes extremely viral, that's when I'll be diversifying into the lower market caps, as I expect them also to do multiples, right? It's extremely strategic and it's something that most people are doing. If you look at Troll Eco, for example, Troll holders are now whales. So once Troll starts to get to a point where it seems like a fair valuation, people start to take profit, or they're going to look for a Wojak, maybe. They're going to look for other tokens inside of the pump ecosystem. Cupsy, the mascot, right? That's also doing very well, okay? And this tends to be how the larger market caps perform with these types of ecosystems, okay? Now, you have to be reminded that one major factor that the Uranus is getting a lot of exposure is because of the founder of Jupiter as well. Now, the founder of Jupiter actually brought this token, but unlike other launch pads, I'm not going to speak about too many names, he isn't deciding to cabal it. This person's a billionaire, right? Yes, with a B. The big B. I don't even know how much a billion is times a million. Is it 1,000? 1,000 million? It's a lot of millions, right? And the reason why he has decided to go with this is because it allows you to build a stronger community. And he's actively posting inside of the Uranus community. Now you can join this community through Twitter. Obviously, it's in the bio of the Uranus token. And if you have a look over here, he made this post 12 hours ago. He said, I would look for everyone in the community to do something very important. Follow these specific people as they're some of the real daily leaders of the CTO. All I do is amplify the efforts. Now, this is something which not a lot of people understand in meme coins. In a meme coin is like promoting a product, or it's like promoting a business. You're pushing a specific narrative. But if your narrative is shit and the community is for foundations, if you amplify that, it just doesn't end well. Why? Because the holders ain't strong. No new people are going to want to buy it 200, 300, 400 mil because they don't see that it possibly hitting multiple billions. And dual marketing is only an amplifier to that. If you have strong foundations and you amplify that marketing, that's where things get really fun. Murad and SPX, for example, if SPX didn't have strong core foundations, it didn't go through multiple 80% pullbacks, they didn't have a very good vision, then when Murad amplified that, it wouldn't have ended well. Now you have people buying SPX at $2, like saying that it's going to 20. This is the type of insane things that happen in meme coins and is entirely possible, right? Now, you can actually see that this token is going absolutely fucking viral right now. They're paying for billboards outside of SpaceX. Elon Musk being the founder of SpaceX. You can see SpaceX right there. And you can see billboards outside of SpaceX. They're also posting funny memes. If you guys ever seen this meme before, you guys know this is one of the funniest memes on the internet. It's a common meme. People are adapting the meme as well over there. You can also see how it started and how it ended. I think there is a lot. I think there is a word for this kind of community, right? I think it's called a cult, right? Sorry, Meow is posting a thread, and every single one of his threads get raided by thousands of people. You can also see Uranus has expanded into New York City. This token is getting banners, billboards, and everything. The community actively decided to do this. Guys, you 10K market cap, 200K market cap, people can't be bothered to commit themselves to these types of projects because they're just going to go back on new creations, look for a new one. Right? This is like hyperspeed gambling or hyperspeed trading. It's fun. I still mess around with it, but it's personally not the thing where I see people making a lot of money. Even if we have a look at the top scalpers, you're talking about $1 to $5 million. When you're looking at the top whales, you're talking about 5 million to anywhere to like 50 million. If you look at Profit's done 25 million on these types of tokens. These are the people who take size risks and size plays with conviction, and we're finally getting back in after 6 months to this style of trading. And I'm so excited for it, because it's going to allow normal people to also have a lot more success, because you're not losing money. Remember, if you lose 50% of your money, you need to make 100% to make it back. And if you're losing that consistently in the trenches, this is where things are going to get very tough. Okay, and you can see all these posts absolutely fucking viral, like just getting about inside the world. This is one of the most active communities out there that you're probably going to see. Now, there's also a case for mindshare of the specific token as well. And I'm also going to get through some of the other tokens which I'm looking at. But the mindshare for this token is very strong. I actually used to have a website. I don't know if I can find it right now. Let's see. I think it's called Uranus Twitter Activity. It's called Mom or something like this. AM Twitter Activity, or WOM. I think WOM. Yeah, I don't know why they chose such a stupid name. Yeah, WOM. Yeah, it's WOM. WOM.fun. Terrible acronym. But you can see it right here. And what WOM allows you to do is it scrapes the whole of Twitter, and then it will check for this token. This is a great tool for you to use to analyze mindshare. Now remember, if a token doesn't have major mindshare, it's not going around the internet, then it's going to be hard for you to push. It's going to be hard for this token to become organic. But when you have a token that already has large mindshare, you can just hop on that. I always say, guys, stand on the shoulder of giants. Some stoic shit. Stand on the shoulder of giants. When the whales projects are running, that's how you're going to be able to turn 2 to 5 to 10, 10 to 20 to 50, right? You put imagine you had just $2,000 in Troll. Yeah, it's a $20 million market cap. $2,000. You'd have $20,000 right now. It's been a week. Now you've got $20,000. You didn't have to sit and trade and grind it out. That should be fun. That should be a specific small portion of your portfolio now. We're out of the time where the trenches was where you break out the trenches. The trenches is where you scalp and you just extract from other people. That is the trenches, right? These larger market caps, that's how you're going to build a major portfolio. That's what I've realized. Useless was the fucking bat signal. When useless happened, that was the bat signal that a lot of these other tokens are going to do the exact same thing, because they are no different, right? We even seen it with Worthless. Guys, we was in Worthless on stream, $10,000 market cap. The guy that's doing the videos right now, I was DMing him, right, giving him tips and advice. That shit's now 10, 20 million, 1,000x, right? These are the types of things that you can hit. And there's still people in my stream that got into that coin on my stream, and they send me messages like every week and say, yo, thank you, but I got into this, I'm still holding it, right? So you can see right here, if we type in Uranus, right, and we have a look at the overall mindshare, you can see there are multiple accounts with over 100,000 subscribers talking about this thing. You might have heard about KRYPTOKING, right? This was the guy who was all over the AI saga. He's a guy who called Griffin before Griffin also ran to over 200 million as well. You might have heard of Darnell. Darnell was one of the first people to be speaking about Uranus token since like $200,000, right? These people all have more than 100,000 subscribers. There's also Whale Watch, which is going absolutely insane right now, speaking about the fact that Uranus whales are buying more Uranus. And like I said, they're going to be diversifying into other tokens, which is the next wave to have a look at as well. And as you can see, this chart, when it breaks all-time high, is when it starts to capture the most mind share. When the chart dips, is when you see the smaller accounts talk about it. But once we start to see this chart blast off again, which is happening right now, this token is going to get even more viral because it's so simple to share. If we zoom in right here, you'll be able to see that the 24-hour influence is up 27%. There's 354 active people shilling. There's 6,000 tweets happening about this thing. And every single minute, right, people are tweeting about Uranus token. Tweeting about Uranus, my friend. You should probably go get that checked out. Now, that is not the only thing, right? I've already explained to you that larger market caps are the place to be. I've explained to you that when you're looking at Uranus, you need to be looking at why it is so viral and why it is so funny. It's already going viral with an extremely active community, and instead of being caballed by people, it is becoming its own entity and its own meme. But the final thing that you have to remember is that a rising tide raises all ships. Now, again, guys, please don't just take what I'm saying, not listen to the first half, and just go buy all the shitters. If you just go buy all the shitters, you're going to be in a whole entire predicament in a few days, right? Don't do that. What you need to do, position yourself in the major runner, and then once the major runner starts ripping, then look for the other tokens, okay? Now, one of the major communities and the CTOs of Uranus is Bubbles. Now, I do think that bubble is an extremely good bet right here. Extremely good bet right here. I'll probably position myself in this token because as Uranus breaks out, bubble should break out, and I'm thinking about 10 to 20 million. Okay, if we want to fib right here, we've finally got above the 0.5, which is what I've been waiting for. What I look for is the tokens that show this type of strength. Me, gone are the days where I'm round tripping these things all the way to zero, right? Because you never know how strong a community is until it bounces back. And as now becoming a whale, right? So, you know what I mean? No, joking. But because I have a large port, right? I can buy 1-2% of these tokens, no problem, and still be okay. So when you're a community, when you're a CTO and you show this strength, this is how charts blast off. This is how you see Uranus whale DCing into bubbles. Boom, right? When you show this level of strength in the community, you're going to see 10. And like, you have the advantage because you're here and got 1% supply for 14 grand. That's now $34,000, right? You could have been DCing all the way down and have 0.5% by now, right? Because when we break out, when you have these types of level of CTOs and mindshare, it's going to do very well. And let me tell you something. Bubble actually has more bag workers than Uranus coin. Would you believe it, right? We're talking bag workers right now. It has 662 active tweets, 178 active shillers, 3,000 holders as well, right? And when we look at the active people tweeting about bubbles, it's all micro influencers. Look how dense this is. Now, let's not just speak about how dense this token is. Look at the profile pictures of all of these guys. Every single person right here is a bubble holder. Every single person down here is a bubble head, right? And that's why I think that this token is very, very good for the Jupiter ecosystem because it has created an extremely strong community. And unlike even Uranus token, where as we've seen, when the price started to go down, we started to see a lot of major influencers go quiet about the token. We seen that bubble token stayed the same. The bubble heads stayed the same. They stayed active and they stayed locked the fuck in, right? I think that this is very fucking impressive. This has impressed me a lot as somebody who would think, okay, this token has the ability to hit 10 or 20 million. As somebody else ran CTOs myself, that I've done over 30 million. This is the type of shit I'm looking for. I'm looking for the cult. I'm looking for the people that are going to be active 24/7. And I even tweeted, right? I think I got rid of this token at probably a similar price, about 3 million, right? I said, guys, I don't want to round trip this type of thing again. You know, I put $5,000 in, it's $65,000. I don't really fancy round tripping 65K. Right? So I exit my position, but give me a reason to get back in. Every day, these guys give me a reason to get back in, and the data shows it, right? The data shows it, which is the reason why, again, I'm very, very, very bullish on Bubble token, right? Now, the next tokens in Jupiter ecosystem, I'm not as passionate about. The reason is, and I'm extremely transparent on this channel and I'm honest, a lot of these other tokens, when they had volume, when they had mindshare, they simply didn't have the holder strength, right? Personally, I've been a major holder of Priceless, a major holder of Priceless. But every single time Priceless catches volume, it might be a good trade, right? But you can see we don't have that recovery, which we're seeing in bubbles right now, right? Every single time we have a rally, we don't have that recovery in bubbles right now. So my passion for Priceless isn't as high. As well as you can see, the volume is only $31,000. But if we have a look at something like bubbles, you can see the volume is 1.5 million, which is half the market cap. That's extremely, extremely impressive. Okay. Another underlier, which is actually quite interesting, is going to be Lightspeed. Now, I have no clue where the Lightspeed came from. It is at 2 million right now, and the chart looks great. Okay. There's also one to have a look at. I haven't really had a look into the narrative, but the volume is okay. And the chart looks pretty strong. I would be wary about it though, because I spoke about this always token, and for some reason the chart just dissipated, right? So I don't know why this type of chart happened, what happened for this thing to come all the way down to 300K, but I don't know if that's going to be the case for Lightspeed. It's something worth analyzing the holders and seeing what the fuck's going on. Now, a underlier, if we're talking about micro cap right here, I kind of like this token, right? This IOY token. Right, it does have a little bit of a community. It's a lower market cap, and if we're talking about lower market caps of active communities and a viral meme, this is a possibility. Now, the betas, when a lot of people asking me about Asteroid, Meteor, Venusi, right, they're just low bag holders which are not going to push anything anywhere, right? In my opinion, I don't think that those tokens are good. Sidelined in these ones as well, I'm not really looking at. Dupe is a possibility. Meow is also a possibility as well. I think one of the biggest underdogs right here, believe it or not, 100K is burn, right? If we're talking about risk to reward and we're talking about probably one of the most underlooked tokens in the entire Jupiter ecosystem right now. It's Burn. Hands down. Hands down. I hold about 3% of this token and I haven't touched it at all. I've left it in the LP because I simply understand that the CTO lead of Burn, the law is fucking insane, right? If we have a look at the CTO lead of Burn, he's one of the only people who have actually kept the entire Jupiter ecosystem afloat since the first time Jupiter Studio released, right? We're talking at the same time as when Uranus spawned, right? The difference is Burn is more of a protocol. It's not necessarily a meme, right? There's different styles of tokens that you can get on these launch pads, right? Similarly to how you have a GP, for example, and then you have obviously a useless. GP and useless, you know, I'm not comparing Burn to GP, obviously not, but Burn is a protocol and obviously Uranus is just a viral meme, right? That's the reason why viral memes tend to do more well, because they're easier to show. But initially, right, when Burn first started, there was a major problem with the liquidity pools, right? In fact, those guys have been long-term holders of Uranus. You guys will know that there was a major problem with liquidity pools, right? Burn solved this by going ahead and purchasing major stakes in all of the Jupiter ecosystem and then using the profits from that to add to their liquidity pool, right? You can see right here, I can announce when Kirby will reach all-time high. Burn and Jupe will definitely fix the LP issue with more than 50% of liquidity is locked and more than 30k USDC on the sell side. If we still stay in this current market cap and allow me to buy 4 to 5% supply, I will lock it forever, right? So multiple percent of this supply, he's buying back and he's burning this token. So this is why I think once this token actually picks up, it's not just going to pick up, it's just going to go like this, right? Because he has majority supply and he has it staked and he's staking it in the liquidity pool. And you guys will say, well, Ty, he has fucking $21,000 of liquidity. Yeah, because once volume comes into the token, there's a thing called the LP army, there's a thing called Meteora, and everybody piles in to add LP while the price is going up. And if you have a look at even something like Uranus, it's a similar thing where Uranus actually over here, right? Uranus only had 1 million liquidity. Now we've only gone up 30% and the liquidity pool has doubled because a lot of people know that when this breaks out, there's going to be volume, so they can put money in the liquidity pool. And when it breaks out, it's at 65 million right now. It's going insane, right? The volume is also probably going to go insane, as we mentioned about mindshare and stuff like that starts to increase. So that is my most highest conviction play. I was one of the people who told you about Pump. When Pump was launching its ICO and everybody was like, that's how we're going to get rich. We're going to put the money in Pump for Nigeria. I said, guys, you're probably going to get rooked, right? ICOs, IDOs, they're just a scam initially, right? Then Pump came all the way down to the lows. We tracked the wallets. We seen it on June. It was going around Twitter. I know a lot of people do crazy Twitter research, but me, I spent hours on there. That's where the alpha is, especially in the bear market. Guys, this bear market, I'm putting you all on game. Bro, this is why you need to subscribe to this channel, because this bear market, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be the only channel that's actually going to give you alpha the whole way through. Not only did I stay active live streaming every single day since March, I've stayed active every day until this point right now. I don't need to. I can sit down, I can claim referral fees, I can make 1 or 2 videos. I could do the same thing that other channels are doing. You might not notice it, but if you actually like look at what they're doing, they're not trading, right? I'm trading. I'm also helping people, right? That's the reason why I want to get to 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 subscribers, right? We've got big plans for this channel. And what I can tell you guys is investing into ecosystems at the lows, for example, putting out the lows when they're doing fucking $300,000 buybacks a day and people are still calling them a scam. Doesn't seem like that now, right? Everybody's on their dick, right? When you get into these ecosystems at the lows, when they hit majority stake and when they become very frothy, that'll show you to start taking profit. You don't wait for a bags, for example, which hits majority market share, start blasting all these coins. No, you become obsessed about bags at the lows. You don't wait for bonk to capture majority market share before you start to become obsessed about it. I'm obsessed about the communities and stuff like that, the lows. Because when they come to majority, what people who are just degens are going to do is they're going to go over to Jupiter, right? They're going to do what most people do, including I also do it myself. If I miss a play, which is natural, I'll go through here and I'll be like, okay, which tokens have the highest volume? Okay, this one has high volume. LP, Meteor, buy 20 grand, slap 10 slap it in the DLM, right? Take profit up here. You're going to see the price go like this. Bush, DLM out. Okay, cool. What's next? Light speed, good volume. Okay, cool. Buy 20 grand, slap it in the DLM. If it goes up to here, I'm out. Right? Boom, 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 boom. Right? That's how a lot of people are moving. Obviously, there's way more DD to do than that. But along the lines, that's how it goes. And it's the same thing that people are going to do with altcoins, right? A lot of people say altcoin season, altcoin season. Guys, altcoin season's been here. It's not going here, but it's not the altcoins that you may think. Now, I know there's people like Ike Becker, etc., who will say to you that it's going to be L1s, L2s, or the big gaming. That's a high possibility. I'm not throwing that out of the water. I'll even invest into those tokens if I see that we're getting that level of mind share. But where I have seen from somebody who has actively been inside the trenches, I have done nothing else. I've done fuck all else, guys, for like 2 years. Just gym and watch the markets, right? And obviously speak to you guys. The altcoin season is ICM, Internet Capital Markets. It's things like bags, viral trends, which you can tokenize and you can send people money. It's things like Jupiter, and it's the meme coins, the major memes. That's where the valuations can go absolutely insane. And the beauty of this is you can't cabal these things. You see, when you look at a lot of these tokens, right, and you go to, let's say, page 3, page 4, all of these tokens, they're bundled to fuck. All these tokens are bundled to fuck. The top 10 holders own all the supply. The VCs, they're in a way earlier valuations that you'll ever see on your entire life, right? The exchanges, they own all the supply and they're just looking to liquidate your lungs, right? That's the case of it. And you can dance around it. Maybe you can get in at the right time. For example, like an Audi, which has already seen major distribution, I might do a 5-10x. Yeah, great. But when you look at these coins, when you look at a token like Uranus, when you look at, a lot of the meme coins out there, it's all on chain. It's so much easier for people to see, and you get much organic, much more stronger meme coin rallies, right? Now, we've already had ICM saga, we've already had, the streamer saga, all these types of things. Those were your altcoin seasons, right? Now we're into major memes. And as you know, once everybody makes a bunch of money on the major memes, that's when you'll probably start to see another Vine, Trump, Jelly, etc. I think you will see another small saga of this, as we probably only have about 3 more months of the market in. Now, a lot of people are going to ask me about BTC dominance, because BTC dominance is a leading factor of whether we are going to experience a very strong bull, okay? And one thing that I explained to you is that be careful about BTC dominance. I didn't expect it to bounce from here. It's a weird place to bounce from, probably because once we broke here, we went down. Something to check. But BTC dominance is broken down. We also have major resistance levels, but we have these larger moving averages. Now, moving averages, again, is the average price. So we could see BTC DOM come all the way back up into here and stay around this average price for a little bit more before coming down to reevaluate. So be careful with your long positions, but also risk to reward here is great. Like I always say to people, here is where I like to take risk, okay? Here is where I like to take risk, i.e. pump fund, all that type of shit. These levels, here is where I like to take risk, okay? i.e., come down here, you get liquidated, fuck it, I'll go again, right? Down here is where I don't like to take risk. Down here is where I don't like to take risk. Down here is where I want to be cashing out, okay? But this, I'll tell you what, down here, guys, is where I make the most referral volume, right? Full transparency. Down here is where you make the most referral volume, because where everybody and their dogs are going long. It should be here is where the most volume. It should be here, right? Like right now, where you should be the most vol, right? That's where the money is made, right? That's where the money is made, okay? But we're still very bullish, okay? But nevertheless, we're still very bullish, okay? Stable coins are leaving the market. Stable coins are leaving the market. People are looking to get risk on again. This is the stable coin dominance. You can see this chart is very, very strong. Resuming a little bit right here. We're nothing but a downtrend. We're starting to see all the moving averages cross. That's extremely bullish, okay? DXY looks okay. The DXY looks okay as well. And obviously the S&P 500, let's see if it loads. Should just be going up and vertical. I haven't looked at this in a long time, yeah. S&P, new highs, right? So market's beautiful, market's sweet. We're in a bull market. It's altcoin season. It's risk on mode. Meme coins are the next altcoins. Uranus is the funniest token that you've ever got out there. And it is probably going to go to 2, 3, 400 million in my own opinion. They're the targets that I'm making. Because it's a viral and strong meme, doesn't rely on just me out shilling it. It is just a viral token, and it's the strongest holders. And when those people make money, they're going to go and they're going to look at the Jupiter ecosystem, because Jupiter made them rich. And you're going to see Uranus whale bought this, Uranus whale bought that. And a lot of these tokens that are strong are going to start seeing extremely bullish rallies, in my opinion. Okay. So take that information how you want to take it. None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm literally just a degenerate meme coin trader. I've made money, lost money. But one thing that you should expect from me is put my money where my mouth is. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one. I'm going to stream now, answer a couple questions. I live stream every single day. I'm probably live right now, so subscribe, put notifications on.